AITA for not getting more involved in my daughter's college fund situation? I have two children, a daughter Sam, 17F, and Asin, 19M, and I have always made sure that their education is a top priority. My son is already off at school and doing very well, and Sam was accepted into her desired college school and program. My mom promised to pay for her entire education a long time ago, including tuition and accommodation. Everyone was overjoyed. However, after my divorce several years ago, Sam started to prioritize my ex-wife's family during every season. Sam decided to visit her mom's side of the family instead of spending time with mine. We always told there's a lot more people there and the food is so much better. Can't argue with the fact that her extended family was there, but I don't think an hour with grandparents is asking too much. This all upset my mother and strained the relationship. 2 weeks ago, she called me to tell me that she would no longer be paying for Sam's education. She felt that Sam had put her own family second and didn't treat her like she mattered at all. I hate to say it, but I also can't argue with that. Since then, Sam has taken full view of what is going to look like for her. She will likely need to rethink her dream school and major. On top of that, the loans will be an anchor in her life. She asked me to help, and I certainly will when I can, but when her mother and I divorced, she got all the college accounts and used that to fund her house. This is old news, but I feel very relevant. While I feel bad for my daughter, I do not feel responsible for my mother's actions. She made the choice to stop supporting Sam's education, and I cannot force her to change her mind. I have spoken to my mother and tried to reason with her, but she's firm in her decision. I have also told Sam Thatch brought this on herself for treating her grandmother less than the rest of her family. Sam is understandably upset and feels like she's being punished for wanting to spend time with her mom's side of the family. However, I believe Thatch is old enough to understand the consequences of her actions and make decisions for herself. As a parent, I have always taught my children to take responsibility for their choices, and I feel that this situation is no different. So, Reddit, am I the *asshole here? Should I have gotten more involved?
AITA for staying in contact with my son's ex-wife and her daughter after their divorce? My son Henry divorced his wife Rachel a year ago. Their divorce wasn't exactly messy, but it wasn't easy either. I stay in contact with Rachel for my granddaughter's sake. My granddaughter is 9 years old, and Rachel also has another daughter, Amy, 3 years older than my granddaughter, who is not my son's child. She was from a past relationship, Rachel. Now the thing is, Amy grew up calling me grandma for pretty much her whole life. I treated her exactly the same as I did my biological granddaughter. I would always take candy for both of them, give them both a little bit of pocket money. I hugged and loved, and still do love, Amy as much as I do my granddaughter. As far as I'm aware, she's my second When my son and his wife divorced, I stayed in contact with his now ex-wife to contact my granddaughter, and Amy has her own mobile phone. I also have her phone number and stay in contact with her occasionally. She still calls me grandma as well. I didn't think this would be a problem. However, last week when it was Amy's birthday, I gave Rachel some money to buy her a present from me. She was thankful, bought her a gift, wrapped it, and sent me a picture of her opening it. Later that day, my son came round to visit me and my phone rang. It was Amy calling to say thank you for her birthday present. My son told me he found it inappropriate for me to be talking to his ex-wife and her daughter, when she's not my granddaughter. He said I have absolutely no reason to be in contact with either of them as I see my biological granddaughter regularly, and that she's the only one who is family. So his ex-wife and Amy, who are no longer family, have no reason for me to be in contact with them. I disagree, as I only speak to Rachel about my granddaughter and I speak to Amy as for the last 10 years. I've been treating her exactly the same as my biological granddaughter. I feel it would be unfair now to no longer have contact with her after so long. AITA for staying in contact with them both? I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. I never discuss my son with either of them. I just simply check in and see how they are. AITA for refusing to leave the store with my dog? I have an invisible disability and a service dog. She's a cardiac alert dog. I bring her everywhere, and it has been such a big quality of life difference for me. Yesterday I was in Bulk Foods buying some supplies and brought my dog with me. While I was buying candy, a girl nearby started crying. The mother walked over and started demanding that I Store immediately. I tried telling her that my dog was working and was not a pet. She wasn't having it and didn't believe me because I was too young to have a medical condition. She said that regardless of whether or not my dog was an authentic working dog, her child had autism and was terrified, so I had to leave immediately and wait until they were done shopping. Until I could come back inside. I refused and continued shopping. I simply went to another area of the store to get the rest of the stuff on my shopping list. The woman had to bring her child and leave the store because she was too scared. The entire time, she kept saying I should be ashamed of myself for scaring a child. Andre refusing to leave. Edit. Yes, my dog was wearing a harness with patches on it to clearly identify it as a service dog and to not distract while she's working.
Update. AITA for calling my girlfriend selfish for refusing to learn sign language. A comment asked me to link the original postie. Want to thank everyone for the advice and responses. I definitely don't agree with everything, but I can see both sides. First, I do want to clear up some stuff. I'm not sure why so many people act like I sprung it on Amanda. I never said I did, and I told her up front about Ruby and was clear that I expected a partner to be willing to put in the effort for her sake. Also, I never criticized Amanda for not being fluent. I had no expectation it would be easy or quick. Hell, I struggled at first. I've never insulted her or had issues with her progress. My only issue was that she refused to try anymore. While my words were immature, it was only after she basically said it wasn't worth learning sign language that I got upset and said it. I find the idea it's too soon honestly strange. Wouldn't it be worse for us to be engaged or married before I know if she's willing to put in the effort for my daughter? I don't expect perfection, just for her to try. I understand that Ruby needs to be able to communicate in other ways. She has to for school. But that doesn't mean she should be forced to at home. Besides all this, I'd consider our relationship serious. I love Amanda. With that aside, I think it's mostly been resolved. Amanda came over and apologized for how she acted. She explained that she had been trying to hide how much she was struggling, and got frustrated seeing how quickly Mia was getting it while she understood nothing. Basically, Amanda was seeing how quickly and effortlessly I was getting close to Mia, and was feeling like she was useless with her lack of progress, especially knowing how important it was to me. We had a long talk about it. I apologized for my immature reaction and explained that it was always non-negotiable for me. And I brought up thought if it would make her miserable and resentful, it may be better to separate. Amanda did not like that, and we talked about our relationship and expectations. I considered it serious the moment she met Ruby. While Amanda didn't see it quite the same way, Shek knew she wanted me in her life and understood that meant she had to try with Ruby. Amanda has decided to find her own professional teaching. She thinks it will be better frustration to show there than with Ruby, or I'll keep teaching Mia, because she really enjoys it. It doesn't matter whether she is fluent, as long as he's trying. I know Ruby will appreciate the effort. For now, Ruby will still have to use other methods to communicate. She was anyway, but hopefully one day she won't have to. Unfortunately, my brother stands by what he says. Said that even though Amanda has given in, it was still unfair of me. That I'm lucky Amanda is willing to put up with it. I've honestly lost a lot of respect for him with all this. I don't understand how he can think that about Ruby, and overall, I'd say it's gone well. Thanks for advice, whichever way you lent. I think we'll be able to get through it.
AITA for refusing to mentor my bully? I, 52F, have a fairly senior level job at a company, Nuco. I've been here 5 years. Lucy, 45F, joined the company 2 years ago. We worked together previously and she bullied me badly. More in background below. Recently, all the senior women were been asked to participate in a women's mentorship program. The program coordinator is in HR and knows the with Lucy. I made it clear to her that I would be happy to mentor one of the many other junior women, but not Lucy. The mentor-mentee pairs were announced this week, timed for Women's Day, and I was paired with Lucy. I immediately reminded coordinator that Lucy was not an option, but apparently Lucy requested me specifically. I don't know what her game is, but I was very clear that either they found her another mentor, or I would withdraw from the program. I am being subjected to a pretty hard press to just get over it and be the bigger person. I strongly believe I am right, but the number of people who are telling me IATA at work, people I respect in general, is making me question my sanity. We are expected to have monthly sessions for a whole year with our mentees. I just can't do it. My head has been spinning since Wednesday. I've been given the weekend to think about it. Background. More than a decade ago, I worked for a small company that was very dysfunctional and toxic, where I met Lucy. She had worked at Toxic Co. a while, and the day I walked in the door she subjected me to vicious sustained harassment and bullying. Lucy was not the only toxic person, and I was not the only person Lucy treated badly. In the 6 months I worked there, 4 staff left because of her bullying, 2 of those threatening to sue. Before she came to New Co., the last time I saw Lucy was in the Toxic Co. president's office when I caminto shaking to tell president that another staff member had threatened to FCK me up with a wrench. Lucy laughed and told me I probably deserved it, and she'd been tempted to do the same. I walked out of that office and never went back. The situation really rocked my sense of self. I would have said previously I was strong and confident and could not be bullied, and Toxic Co., with Lucy in particular, proved me wrong. 2 years ago, Lucy started at New Co. in another department. I thought I was over it, but experienced pretty close to a full-on panic attack when I heard. I wrote up my concerns, particularly about her treatment of her staff, and brought them to her new boss and HR. They agreed to watch her carefully. She is a level below me, her boss and I are close. Boss knows the story, but I have been very careful not to share it widely. Lucy and I have never had a conversation about Toxic Co. or the bullying since she started at New Co. No idea why she would ask for me specifically. Is going out of my way to mentor my bully a reasonable thing to ask of me? AITA for refusing?